Any munyina no Edia Shia Ewo W'asem Yie. So me did Kwame Appiah could be Mr. Speaker on behalf of my production team. No, pay across the country. Maybe I will share you free na maybe I will see you free biano. Yema munyina achi na yema munyina akwaba. Once again, this is a news analysis show. Na pay we'll take you through na what you munyina no and yema SEC in terms of governance or mine buon in tutri and in shisheye komahodoa akoso ewo abai munyina no this week. Ninyinano ya debro anope na afi yetimi anywhere the home enkomo across the country more share live on DSTV anope yena munyina ase once again na ye mama chin emra eye W'asem Yie dwumadie no eso mo share on Go TV mo share free to air and our so on YouTube on our Facebook handle on Onua TV anope ye mamunyina achi mamunyina akwaba abidwafo betina se. But this week most importantly, in just about a week ago, floods are in the Greater Accra region, especially the national capital. No, President Mahama gave a directive say yenyi nefuami emfensi ho endra ene na afein. So within about 7 regions across the country yentimi enhwe na yenye de efe no ahosiesie dwumadie shonko enunti endra ene nyina no say dwumadie no egoso a ekoso endra ofa enkran ene ne mpate mu nyina na President Mahama edikan ehyaase ewo chado kowie ewo alajo ene ne mpate mu de nani ekohu ye ekoboaye ma national cleanup exercise no etimi eba. So the local government minister as well together with other ministers, finance minister, the vice president and several other ministers ana endra bisi anope womu nyina no ati womu ho egu monten so a womu hwe se yebetimi aprapra na yesiesi na yama ahonidie mapa etimi aba ewo yempate mu ahodo no anope. We'll take you back some interviews endra yetimi we played for you na watimi ehu de ekoso ewo nkran ene ne monten so as well. We'll take you around the other regions na yene reporters nso edi nkomo ebisa se anope dwumadie ni nyina no kosen said ye be ya wonso a wo hwe anope no obetimi edi wani edi akire. But most importantly se utifie na wo hwe ye endra wamfa wo ho anhye dwumadie ni mu a it is equally important se anope obetimi akọ wankasa wo mpatemu baabi a assembly no eye di dwuma nyina no mpacho ubetimi akọ MC u DC u member of parliament baby omo bia no na wonso wetimi adjoin, and together we can clean our environment and make sure say environment no is safe for all of us to live within. Enti arope mame enda munyina say. But again this week a lot of ministers and a PMO parliament assurances committee and na a lot of them na they respond to questions committee ebe put it to them, most especially the and I say a border on government policies ahodwa washasia were implemented. One of such ministers the Agric minister now when him say aban way by there is a policy called Nkukon. The minister is giving us an assertion through the assurances committee anope ebedi ho nkomo na afi yahwe baabi asa nkomo nyina no free air ba de ntia akoba ne sa ene de wa edema ne nyina nso esi eko na afi yetimi enyamu ntia se policy no minister say enkoko a wo mo cheche ye edema Ghana fo bi se wo mo nyen no na afi yentime muwa ebema wo mo sika ebema nkrofo nyuma nkrofo dodo na kunkoko ne we under the Nkukon program. Minister say it is so bad to extend say obi mu kra no ekunu wia na afi wo mo send videos edema ono na oye minister wo hwe kuayo ene ehonsem nyina enti anope ye no bedi ho nkomo na afi nchiremu ahodo a ewo ho no yetimi agene nyina. But mind you the biggest opposition party in Ghana, the New Patriotic Party, anope say ye kase across several constituencies in the country, one more to aba edi constituency executives eno nso ye no ebedi ho nkomo baabi a sese ye kɔ ne ye ne mpanyfo di ho nkomo no ye betimi akɔ na ya monitor say elections no saying so far across major constituencies within the country. And stay with us. Free Sabri Kosi say nondu ebebo yene o edi nkomo obetimi join here live on our Facebook handle. Na what they were doing training nyina no ediaba yebeke nkai ni nyina nso ediama na afiwiase nyina nso etimi atewunka. Ma yentwa ye ho na yentie interviews ahodo no embra. I happen to chance on a minister na Mishia local government minister ewo alajo no menene di nkomo about exercise omampanyin adarete se yenyina no yemfa ye hunhyem na yemprapra yempatemu yentie the local government minister interview no embra yewia yebeto so.
Excellent. You get the President of the Republic to participate, and you see the turnout and the way everybody wants to do something. It's outstanding. It's amazing.
Okay. And so far so good. Yeah, but no, you have to fight for street news. So where do you want to? What kind of events or movements are here for street?
There's a convoy of empty trucks.
Okay.
Courtesy the private sector just on the road. So the infrastructure is there, the logistics are there, both the national and the private. We are using everything. By close of day tomorrow, we'll see the city very clear.
And we are rest assured, sir, activities that was over.
What was being a challenge is now being fixed. So clearly, I can assure you that the country will be
the people of Ghana for coming out in their numbers to take part in this cleanup. Today is day 1, tomorrow is day 2. I will thank the armed forces, the security services, the traditional rulers we have in England here with us, and everybody who has come out to take part in this important
suggest possible remedies. So there will be a team of which I will be a member. If you are going to be a member of the team and you start broadcasting your ideas, what if you vote is not accepted? How do you count the ratio? But clearly, based on one or two things that I've seen, and the way we are going, what we are doing now, if we are to sustain it, then if I can tell you that the problem is not going to be okay, because there is going to all the transit stations have been open. So those people are not going to be sending the reviews to W'asem Yie and the laptop. Or if you go to Achimota, there's one there, you go to Section, there's one there, you go to Afropi, there's one there, you go to Malan, there's one there, you go to Labadi, there's one there. So clearly, if those things are accessible, there's no informal class like who will be sending the to a landfill, to a wetlands, go and dump the full attacks or build houses.
When you dispose of something, you know how to dispose of it. We have stick trucks carrying containers all over the city. Just go and throw your garbage.
I can tell you that all those things are very
Okay.
And that is the local government minister, Ura Ahmed Ibrahim. Now, some of the questions, landfill site, aprapra air coso between and Rabisi and Openo, your fengura na a hefa ana your deco. The minister assured us, trucks were, in place. Say a bit me as a say, na a dear call a year transfer site, a hoodwo, motimi, and the service providers are more within the sanitation sector, no akasa. It was expected by an opay the proper and rano. Omubetimi assessor. But indications are yen say the prior and rano still nano a big gugu abontia yentimi and society. So we'll come back to it and then yebedi home komo na yetimi ashe. Again, I put it to the minister. Say there are certain contractor Abino has decided or failed to renew. Again, we've gone through the 2025 budget. The 2026 budget, the government's commitment in fighting sanitation and making sure say omwetimi a manage your environment. Sikano iswa. In 2026, a buying a devotee 9.4 million Ghana cedis for sanitation across the entire nation, not even up to a year 10 million Ghana cedis. It tells you the priorities of the government. But minister said the president is on his way, say, or best setting up a committee. Na afeyin so san koma etise ni nyina no omwetimi ahwe na omwetimi edi. Now he's hopeful say president committee no emra na omunye omwadwuma enwie no such matters are ewo ho a very important a border on a kwanya ye befa so a you be secure your environment. They put everything together and then they make sure say resolve some of the persistent challenges. And that is the minister. But after minister, we caught up with the chief executive officer Edema, the Jospon Group, Zoom Lion, a private company. In all of this exercise, omo edi mo akotini ye. Yenti eye Japan na yemra.
what our traditional values were about. We're not looking at the clean environment. But when we all leave our hometowns and we come, because of the anonymity of urbanization, we think that nobody watches us, so we doubt those values. And we live in filth. We must change that attitude.
Waste management, we're going to have 20 years.
I'm also asking the Minister of Finance. He's already released 150 million to help with flood mitigation. That is the and so the ministry will continue that exercise. Even after we have finished this two-day cleanup. We also have to get specialized machines like backhoes to take the cells that we have taken out of the drains and now put them in the dump truck or a tipper truck to take them away. And so we're going to
maybe I must say, that is a young brother, 2 days she was electing up. Then you and I give me a workers. And what you can a week before, I need city team for a partnership and you to the border. And you might have to and Yayan and Yamiano says, when should I want 29 countries? I hear you want Lagos, you want Nalubi, you want Mombasa, you want Liberia, you want Gabon. I hear you.
It's a system with a buyer video contracts. How do you intend some operations are more getting that trust?
The woman said, you want a program, which management they were program to the degree. A program one. I don't know any about I wish you say renewal of contract. But connection from the houses to houses.
Yes.
And a container terminals not in there.
Okay.
And I know
containers need to
the woman said, all and this is oh, you're the pre-financing. This should make you
to one out of Sikashi.
Okay. They say America, I can't walk by into a more than 200 million Ghana from the district assembly. Okay. Or indeed, Untiakanasana, or my money was born on a car, no why $100,000. No one could contain why you will. If you create your income, no, and in the second year, this is the trial. Yes, I said, almost the whole January to the dry. And I but okay, I said, oh, I had you 20 years. Yeah, I can track record, previous, not just say, I know what was I just said, so you must say, but put the track record from 2008 because in West management, you have to invest into equipment, you have to invest into containers, you have to say, when I'm not able to get the money, I'm not able to invest. That's the challenge.
Mamena was once again, and that is Ora Joseph Siao Japan, Chief Executive Officer at the Just One Group, Zoom Lion, the biggest private waste management company in the country. Now, Utiena, I asked him certain very important questions. Motivation, no, the and he says it very clear, sir, and you know, a proper jumedia or money are buying one, sa contract, no, and are buying and renew. But a ban of the management of a year. Bola terminals. I mean, yeah, the container NSUO, yeah, two negum, SSA Zoom Lion Koffer. For that, so any assemblies no war into agreement. Contract ne be no existed. But I asked him the very critical question, say, Ghana for no catcher say a Juma assemblies ne dia ma wa no container ne ma you fail, say ubetimi afa container no on time. Now, I feel waiting media ko baby as a wodeko. Now, W'asem Yie Japan say yes, no credit, but a Juma we ni Juma ni nyina ni sikasem. Company no finance ono ade ni sikato trucks a befa baller no containers a mobeto baller na egumu nyina no company na ankasa na de ni sikaye. Omo yesa adwuma ni nyina awie ansa na assemblies no enye ska omo atimi atu omoka. Enti ni nyina sikasem. Now, he says that as a stance assemblies no edeneka more than 200 million Ghana cedis or more. Enti ebanisa na ema adwuma ne ye no eyeden. Now companies no ewo ho se aban any assemblies ni tu omoka omo nso enye sika e de show omo operation mo na afi etimi amadwuma no etimi awie pay. But in all of it Endra ewo alajo no, I mean president was there and afi so the finance minister together with team ni nyina no were there. Kasa atoto gates akese mu nyina no, there's effort ongoing na we make sure say we betimi clear the gutters no ewo alajo ene ne mpatemu as well no paying so koso enti just as I said earlier no se unya emfa wo ho enhyem ana unya emfa wo ho enjemu a na wa make no a point but many the environmental service providers association eni nkomo anope na yemisa wo say so far eniema ni nyina no akwakosi say how are their individual members in terms of companies are as an association no I mean engaging with this particular exercise president Emma directive ewo home mamima ama ofori entry ono the executive secretary edema espa mamima na chi na mema no akwaba. Good morning.
Good morning.
Na enema mo to say
enema mo ye me da sense na me chia mo ahwefo anopen
ahwefo je so ye da se ye dem say muguso amu ye adwuma anopen, right? But you have to as well no spend some time with us and tell us from Endra from the very first time our president Emma directive no man penyin share say yenyi nefo amenu nsi ho yenyi dwumadi a etisei. I mean, how far have you come as an association with more members? Ejuma money abayin mo mpanyinfo ne omampanyin eye no, is it on pro bono services? And I say siketua bi akomo for now.
Yo me da was me da. Ahwefo so asim. Anope die. Me ka se Ghana fire die. In fact, send and dry ye pie ye ebe support clean up ne na efe. Member His Excellency so abaso so no ankasa bae ebe ma ye morals ye nyina wose ye de ye hojim ne anya adwuma no na efe na ye ni regional minister no and local government minister no and ye nhihye no inti penhihye ne ye no all the service providers baby all ye adwuma no we do logistics be kwa support na assembly no amao fuwa kakra but
fuwa ni the assembly ni na eto
na was somewhere na mefa kwanyu wenya so abo Zoom Lion me member ono so ka ekonu association omo ya ade pa omo deploy omo sheda deploy logistics bebre ewo greater Accra ha and omo sama ye collection points ayesesa nwura na yedi bekwa akogu afi de omu wia na omu dia later no Zoom Lion no ometna se normal holy akọ final disposal site enya say adwuma no yentime nye ye kaze yesesa se na ya medical card ye kaze yesesa akọ final disposal site na enkonye yi ewo adepa anase kpon se onim say the whole of Accra there e be ebetu egu ball egu no ayedin pa ena ye informal sector and informal economy no so ye ni omuso kasaye nti omuso omude omuho je mo pa nti ndo omuso omuso mu na yesesa enura ni bebre omuso ye ma omude call Achimota transfer stations. Now 2 days there, yes, will be anchor dumping for free. Now I'm guiding na smooth.
Omwede abobo ya tricycles no. Esa ball and nyina no say omofa ball no na omode kwa Achimota transfer station wa nkese so mutua right, but for the purposes of exercise air course you know omuntua hwe
omode ko free. Just to aid the smooth na yetimi asesa. Na nwura na egu krom no edoso edoso ye na yeguzu sisa anope kra me be me amedi dance ebi ni nam ebi wo even 37 kwan no me be nyina ye hu bi nti and there ni informal sector ni assemblies ni yeguzu.
But my thinking was that I mean yeguzu aye adwuma for instance ye tete gates ni ye proper street ne so no nanka at least tracks no ediachi enti ye prani nyina no nanka ye senwura no but say ye beje gu ho ma ade ache so na still na no collection no edru ne mpempen so esese edru yeah, kasa no pay so na start here air pity. Yes, so the consensus again no say indeed Ghana for pie ya copra but omo a ese some semra no omo nsaye ya nhwe ni ya na ya sanso akọ end up say baby a ye pagya ifin free ye no na asanso akọ back.
Nimze ndom cameras di chair na because
your cameras di chair.
Yes sai. Ye na cars ni ye ewa advantage points into yes sai pa. Ba meja tum say ye volumes no.
Okay.
Volumes ni doors no. And na big cars no baby omukwa akoto egu aba no. Omukwa ye no baby amba.
Oh, it didn't.
Because queue our final disposal site.
I see.
And I'm matching is here back right now. Yen shade ni final disposal. Yen shade ni dump sites. And a transfer stations no so ni ho. Into arrangements ni ishare ni assembly here and then amaya yijiji baby ya jiji bi wo kolebu ye hole egu ho. And na ye di bi ko transfer. And ya ye bi so teshi nungwa. It's a temporary receiving points.
Okay.
It's a year. Then
first day free.
Near the final disposal sites.
At final disposal sites, no air here from Pong.
In someone at
Adepa. Okay. But Andra, mene just on a year interview, no, or make a certain revelation. Say when it comes to Zoom Lion, maybe some issues about landfills. Baby, your football and your betuagu. Now he made it categorically clear, say for them, omo developing areas. I mean, omo betimi, manfo betimi, omo football and omo betimi diako. And he says, any problem because he can say for a fact, say by the engineering Zoom Lion ayeno, baby a ye footballer ye debekono, a bit tiki on my way over 50 years, krana enyema. So I mean, I still don't get it when you say there was some challenge, or are we to say and only a private owner or no one didn't see kanaye enti as I say you be call akotumra neguwa as I see tuaka or a certain level of agreement has to come in place and sign yet utilize it.
You me das yeah stakeholder engagement about a month ago.
Okay.
At that stakeholder engagement no almost a presentation extra say almost 50 years plan.
Okay.
I'll make me I put it in the requisite facilities and infrastructure to support final disposal sites.
Okay.
And so a action plan they have on the table and they can implement. And you know, this is where the public-private partnership comes in. And was say I buy any montanasi. Now me I support with the final disposal sites.
Okay.
But currently they are at Accra, Greater Accra metropolitan area. Yen shed any engineered landfill site be a yetungranigu. The one we have is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
And it is one of the key challenges. Internet cafes near me holy about 2 or 3 times in a day.
Okay.
But because of the pressure and the distance, and my evacuation I yet day. Internet as a households collection rate from cra. So there is a major challenge. And private sector any bits. Zoom Lion or my bits. Westland for some bits, but the daily demands and the current infrastructure match.
So, as an association, what do you suggest? What do you propose to abide money abide enyankita hundie say challenge wohoni? How do we resolve it together with the assemblies, any local government minister?
You Medasipa, I really like this question. Emira to say you be moving away from knee-jerk solutions and firefighting assemble and sana ya say ya clean up a crobia advance a crobia on my developing what's a clean up or order. There's nothing like clean up. We have to move away from cleanups but it's long overdue. What do we need to do now? Waste management is a science, and now we need to do the right thing. We need to put in the systems, and then we need to put in the structures.
Okay.
When we talk about waste management, it belongs to government. Now the metropolitan municipal and district assemblies have a key role to play. But per the good practice everywhere, no, and even per your environmental policy, no, 80% is supposed to be outsourced to the private sector. Okay. That is why the private sector participation came in. Into, no, going forward, the metropolitan municipal and district assemblies need to engage private sector properly, where we can have 2-3 assemblies come together to give us the recovery, material recovery centers, and also to give us the transfer stations, and also to give us the final disposal sites. Now, a miracle to say Ghana, we move away from CSS and we're near Kwako to a good final disposal site. That is not waste management. We have to do treatment. Okay. It is a say and crowd was a ban. I ensure see a policy. I be segregation at source. Our households. Into at least one bin po and now 1 bin liner near the organic new bin the aka near the goo plastics ma no ma besisa. Okay. Nina capital intensive. Yes,
but that is also part of a buying promise or yeah, especially under President Mahama. I mean, there were plans a buying big distributing dustbins. It's actually in their manifesto. Say assemblies, not through them. You bring your dustbins, you're best segregating right from the household into your waste management organization or baby film runner segregated already. You're separating glass plastic organic waste so up to now a DNT still
even one dustbin is a crap for households and they can't afford. They will not even subscribe to the accredited service providers. I was on your Muyejuma. Says canon betrianity. Tina Nina Bola near the Aquaco Gugu Gatters, Munia dear Gugu, a future, Aquacofa, when in our brain. Now, even with illegal damming, there's one thing cry was saying, underground water. Young West now cough from now, illegal dams in it's going to contaminate our underground. See, in Sona, in the near future, you will be brain a quack of fabric. Waste management in a science. One, a capital intensive, a daily affair. Because so far Ghana, now far greater Accra. Now say yes, our population here 4 million. Yeah. Now be generating 0.5 kg daily. Obviously, I see the generation daily. Okay, I buy one generation daily. Into a day, and I was say I buy we per that data no. I was say would share service providers collection per tonnage per day. Into the calculation is there. Into all that you have to do is service providers. Ebia me diosu clothing mount. Yampa say Jekora na ye juma wo ha. Wo di ma Jekora. Now the why rezoning? Wo di distilling no gutters no bibia manu. Now why calculation no aka say otimi ye juma we emamia busumbia. This is what you're entitled to. Okay. And then you also empower them because service no more providing a year for municipalities and a waste track ne poye day internazia no muntimento na
about $100,000
and no crane that was about we say can is about 120 for a new one. Okay. 120,000 $100 I think it was about 2-3 years ago. 120 ne boy day. Into you talk a compactor $120. Now your friend is saying assembly becatcher say G20 cedis, G30 cedis. They've not looked at your friend is saying cost of operations. Yeah. What do assemblies do? They look at the needs of the society. Omaka say area mu ha do metimi atria 30 cedis per. Area mu ha betimi atria 80 cedis per. Area mu ha betimi until what has happened? They say and the service providers no into maximum profit no, they only concentrate on areas now there's commitment, and then the households are paying regularly.
Okay.
Into once you are not a regular payer, no, they ignore you. Until when they ignore you, into where do you send your waste to? Then this is not how to do waste management. It is the rights of citizens. Right. And then they will buy said yes or be provided service na day. Until we have to do waste management the right way. I was here empower assemblies so the metropolitan municipal and district assemblies. I was here empower. Yeah, Kasa says here, and it's only the metropolitans and no more waste management.
Okay.
Meanwhile, all the other have mehos and dehos. Environmental health officers.
Okay.
And so they are in charge of waste management. And imagine you've released that much of money to them to do waste management. Meanwhile, they are not the waste management experts. So these are the gaps that need to be corrected.
Okay.
For the private sector participation, it is key. Because all over the world, we don't even need to reinvent the wheel. All over the world, that is the good practice. Private sector engagement to bring them on board. That is where the job creation comes in. That is where the teaming youths will get jobs to do, and that is where the economy will also grow. And then it cuts across and benefits will be.
Now, my share the issues of debt accumulation into private waste management companies. A year Jumama buying through the assemblies, right? Assemblies are supposed to pay. Because a municipality now a company are provided over 20 or 50,000 how do you call it containers, right? They can bigger containers, no at the SCC vantage points be a funding ra or to make to boom. Now a yema either in a week, 3 days, 2 weeks as a company no a copy no they call the final disposal site. Or yeah, Jumani via the understanding I have is that first, Nanka are buying Exisikano through local government ministry from source, from assemblies in common fund. Now, assemblies ni raise concern say that be penny sabi Sikano meka heti kasa account. Then later they themselves ebetua waste management companies neka. If you listen to what W'asem Yie Japan eka and dra or say a buying Eddie or non Zoom line more than 200 million Ghana cedis through the assemblies. What it means is that assemblies are no pretty within and the denica to the steam or the container nesi or more to ball and the gum as a sort of coffer. But Sika Modibechiana or the reinvestment, Sikano Emma allocate. How do the companies survive? If there are some of these happenings within the assemblies. Now, Yenimsa assemblies so any the needed capacity. I will bet me a generate Sikana. Why then do we say assemblies nankasa into on their own? Okay.
In Zeno, in America, there's institutional gap, and that has always been one key thing. Papa, the good practice, it is pre-financed.
Yes,
it is government who rather even pre-finance you because service now providing essential service. There should not and wasn't any panel jai and there wasn't any panel cry and take a break because yan holding one day crana really near me very serious in pay arrangements with the current arrangements with the assemblies.
Yes.
Nanka common fund and kebetia. But with the current arrangements, you're discussing a number of assemblies now said they should be responsible and then be responsible for their sanitation.
But I know Mami are quite serious about this whole conversation because curiosity, I took the pain. The whole of the week, you go through 2 major budgets. Now, I say 2 major budgets because the president is just about 16 to 17 months in office, right? Budget no speaks it all. Adibia buying peso it has to be captured in the budget. Now, let me read to you the 2026 budget. Occur a year, page 198, right? Appendix 4D, MDA expenditure allocation for 2026, and this is it. Now, over under the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, you were the ministry's headquarters, right? Agencies there's an allocation made to them. Under the same ministry, you were the Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs as a whole institution or agency under the ministry. Omonsunya allocation. Then, good enough, no, for sanitation as a whole project on its own. And they are equally making an allocation to the sanitation sector. But what surprises me, item 9 on appendix 4D, no, yes, sir. For instance, an institute like the Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, in 2026 alone, are buying allocate 46 million Ghana cedis, right? Over a year, the issues of sanitation are. Now, we only allocated about 9.4 million Ghana cedis. So I asked myself the question that, I mean, how do we deal with sanitation across 261 districts with 9.4 million Ghana cedis? Again, assuming class assembly be our population ye pay, enti sikano allocation no ye chene pe kra e the ama assembly be no. I mean, all that the assembly is getting is not even up to 40,000. So it brings me to the question that say abanka say ye disikani nyina ma assemblies to say the wokan enti SSO mo take charge of their sanitation conditions in the assemblies in the district. Is this the amount we are talking about?
No, the amount we are talking about is allocations in terms of sanitation.
Yes.
Which was initially centralized. And now you did try Zoom Lion for Kano. Street sweeping,
yes.
All those
under the YE model. Okay.
So every component of the sanitation has now been put together and been given directly to the assemblies, the Metropolitan Municipal and District Assembly, to manage their own affairs. So decentralization has been done, which for me it's also is a good thing, because assembly biani need and assembly biani send no purpose or be handling waste management. What should the assemblies have done?
And only is different from the budget.
They are different.
Okay.
So now the assemblies have more money. Even in the past, maybe just one assembly will be giving Zoom Lion just about 3 or 4 million. But right now, the assemblies have as much as 7 million. And I don't know whether Omuya allocations, whether you followed it. I had the opportunity to look at it.
Okay.
So now the assemblies are now better resourced. So what the assembly should have done was to engage the private companies to continue with the service provision. But they also decided, said they would do it themselves. And unfortunately, they have not been able to live up to expectations. So this is one of the big gaps we have now. So there's nothing wrong with the decentralization. But the challenge has been the private sector participation, because the assemblies do not have the capacity, and they do not even have the resources, and they do not even have the expertise to do this work. So what were they supposed to have done? They should have engaged the private sector people, work with them to resolve their sanitation challenges, which they did not do. They said they were going to manage it themselves. So some of the assemblies themselves have recruited Crawford to go and do the street sweeping, but sweeping along the streets, doing the media, carting, and all those things have not been done. They've not been able to live up to expectation. So the assemblies have a serious institutional gap, and they know it.
Okay.
They know it.
Very well. Now, I don't know we'll end there, because I mean, it is assemblies no ineffectiveness, and I get here to maybe I was to say, because I don't think say assemblies not together with their MMDCs function properly. I mean, we should be where we are today as a country. It has to take the president to give a directive, say yanko prapra yampatemu mpatemu. That said, the question is that moving on from this 2-day exercise, where do we go as a country? Because I mean, this cannot happen every time. And taking responsibility, where do we move on from here? I mean, final destination, they are saying, how should the assemblies manage themselves? How should they ensure, say, I mean, some of these things are well catered for? Or Chinano, I mean, president will not have to step in again to say, state institutions, any leadership, whereas there are specific people, more specific responsibilities and assignments, yet they are unable to do it.
For assemblies in the crowd, they have nice strategies in place. They have their NESAB, they have their DESABs, and what have you. And you know, as I say, waste money. We have to look at it holistically. And looking at it holistically, we need the town and country planners. We need the infrastructure places to be in place. We also need the assembly's capacities to be improved. Then private sector comes on board. In Trisena Medical Canon, we need to have we need to sit down and have a holistic approach. Look at this waste management with a holistic framework in mind. So what do we have to do? First of all, we have to take the value chain from point of generation to the final disposal sites.
Okay.
Well, where we have to do treatments, and then where we have to look for the necessary infrastructure. And this is where private sector, Chelsea, we've taken the lead, the expertise, the innovations. In the idea, intermediate mesrese nka aban me per presidency no nanka omuni private sector and metropolitans yentenase e was assembly bianya ne mapping ononka say who needs into 2-3 assemblies can even come together and provide the basic infrastructure with the private entity, and then it is managed.
Okay. Very well. And but me ma akwenya no the obeka de atwa me nim so free here awokotoa eye I mean modjuma mo ye no so I wouldn't take much of your time. The obeka de atwa na yemfancy.
You me da asepa. The medical atwa ne say eba waste management and as in sanitation na eho hia papa into mesra ban say ye wie sa 2 days sanitation exercise we are. It was say a buy any private sector frontiness. It was say a buy and support private sector companies. So even if the big ones, Zoom Lion cry, air cry, yeah. How about the smaller ones?
Okay.
And if indeed a buy is committed to us resolving the waste management challenge in this country now, yes, Rabbi. Private sector near especially association, anytime, any day, we want to see it with government and want to see a solution to our situation where we cannot continue going around in circles. Is appalling. Lives have been lost, property. Spending contingency weighing over 300 million. And on monthly basis, if we are even using just 5 million to resolve all the waste management challenges, boy, and semester a management science, and yes, idea ubet me keke. And no more no more experience, no more much more dear dance. Let's come together, work as a team, and work to promote the health well-being of Ghanaians. They deserve it.
Okay.
And we need to get a clean country for ourselves. And I want to also put it out there, say, if there are Ghanaian companies willing to do it, government should support them. Because Abani Masha, your boss said, only the Obama say Ghanaian company bear. Into Mr. Abine, there are existing companies in addition to Zoom Lion. Abine best so ye mu na yenya capacity na yenya jumani ni ambua Ghana.
Okay. Mamina ama ofori entry ase ono executive secretary edema the Environmental Service Providers Association, the waste management companies, the private ones, Omunyina Association or no any paying pa or da or more ano. Ama, I'm grateful for your time and pay. Thank you so much. Maybe any of us said in Comobio.
Miss Madam
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Munkos body runumai Nagana for science by the fata.
Thank you. Ma yen try your hona yen kratue embra yaba mabidwa for akano ebetinase na yedin komodie no atwaso. We'll be right back.
Onua Group yene afahye de wo adwumakuo ba ko pa ye wo W'asem Yie mu.
Content creators and football lovers, are you ready? Creator Cycles is back with Play and Connect 3.0, the Creator Cup Jersey Edition. Get ready for an unforgettable afternoon where football passion meets content creation. Rock your favorite football jersey, challenge your friends in a PlayStation battle, enjoy arcade games, creator collaborations, amazing content creation, and the live streaming of the FIFA World Cup final on a giant screen. It's more than football. It's networking, fun, and unforgettable vibes. Hey, 19 July 2026. Time is 3 p.m. Location is Nexus 9 Lounge and Spaces, East Legon. Play and connect. Play, connect, and create. Don't hear about it. Be there. Content creators and
Onua Group yene afahye de wo adwumakuo ba ko pa ye wo W'asem Yie mu. Onua Group yene afahye de wo adwumakuo ba ko pa ye wo W'asem Yie mu.
National Sanitation Day no egusua so again the new patriotic party across the country egusua to aba adopay to elect a year constituency officers for the party yebehwe na yahwe na yediani edi election no echi. But Malik Adama a national vice chairman hopeful for the National Democratic Congress adopay watina say Malik, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
I'm promoting saying,
yeah, me Adam now once here.
Mamema Benjamin Jewu up here, a member of the New Patriotic Party's communication team. Miaminia Bengazi, good morning. Let's say,
Mr. Speaker, I'm Adam now sir.
Eradidi Mkwache. Solomon Owusu ebe joining Director of Communication at the United Party. Obe joining shortly na afi yetime edem komoni na no ediaba. But I'll begin with Malik. And Malik Meshas here so 2 days national cleanup exercise led by President Mahama, ministers of state, chief executives, and other state institutions. And it is expected say Ghanaians do no ebetimia joining. And feedback from Cape Coast. And a lot of people are no pano oko a year kotokraba and in Mpatemua. Janiso Kofubebre Kobiebe shops Emma the Cape Coast mayor. And in the team, local shops, and some of them we are told say Omodiomo Ebeko a year the sanitation court on Monday. I mean shops, you're closely, they are supposed to receive some fines through the local bylaws, assembly Nankasa Aye. And that is what transpired at Cape Coast and quite an unfortunate one because earlier on I'm free said the Obona Kose Emma Ubia Emie shops by the directive of the assemblies. AMA, I mean Accra Mayor, Eka the same thing. Kumasi Mayor, Zuba, Eka the same thing for KMA and so. But I don't know, by and large, Mamintio, maybe I will free by and participate and you are yet to participate.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, me that's be brave. Na Martina Heidi, Maminchia, the first gentleman of the land. Na Minchia me mame yourself at the Omomo Sheye on your good platform. Now, me bo present Abasu just because me and Kasano na idea me dream who say Bibisa e was a eba.
Okay.
And we should even have it mandatory. Maybe we can have a law ebe guiding. Just because when you look at Ghana, Sana Esitina, in fact, you hear Bibi your friend to say sanitation day or consistency cleaning of our environment. So,
but some of the National Sanitation Day about that.
Yes, that is once.
The National Sanitation Day, no,
which is once in
every month. Yes, and Sana we so obey.
But it is not effective.
Again,
people patronize, but the rate at which felt a work room no, and to me sad daily, only one daily no, and to me and cover sad no, absolutely not. And to me and Kasano now I wish say we will. No,
but the hope was that. Yenyi daba kunsi ho
once in a month.
Yes, but on daily basis, no.
Yes.
MCAs, any of my assemblies, no, and take charge of the daily sanitary conditions within the district. And where comes the fact, say,
Mr. Speaker, whether we like or not, there is a fact. Say, Ghana, ya bontin, e filter. Upon the year, that is a fact. And then, we always say we should go beyond that if we want the country to look neat. We should go beyond that. And once first Saturday of every month, and to me and tidy up our environment and then our areas and to me because of the volume of waste crew. Yesterday, where I patronized, that is around La Paz, strangely, N1, I got an I think it's 0.6, those gutters now. When you say, I hear I am, and I will show you the picture. I hear any moment here the pig, and the E2, and the so once mantle and all, and to me, solve distance. And to me, I'm of the opinion, after flood in sea, and say, we should even introduce the then Tangasi, you're from a town council, I am from a Tangasi. I want to use the local word Tangasi. You introduce your community, sir. Now, almost surrounded. Now, you declare operation clean your surrounding. And to move around, now say there are a lot of fields in the area. They first give you first one and second, and then you'll be fine. Mr. Speaker, if they find you 500 to 1,500 as a result of environment and then surrounding, you're so bad. I don't think next time you will allow such a fund to be imposed on you just because you'll be cleaning your places. No sense will happen. And then I'm for it any day, anytime. Say
where I disagree with you, yes. I mean, no or shit, right? Yes. I mean, Brano, union IMP and cooking. It is a good thing. Communal labor, the Ghana for year that.
Yes.
But where my issues is the fact that as a mom pese assemblies need to take responsibility. So for instance, town council, some as a working assembly be a Ghana habia the local government act. Emma more the authority, including the constitution, to come up with one casa bylaws, right?
Yes.
And bylaws, assembly members, basically presiding members, so they go into the assembly meetings and then they formulate it.
Yes.
So why are the assemblies not functioning? And the Juma local development, a assembly ne Juma no rather no Yamana is so difficult. Say it has to take the president and the minister to come out and say Ghana, this is the directive. On daily basis, I ask myself, say on daily basis, assembly ne Juma womo yen and say, are they always sitting back waiting to say ye train my common fund aba and sign ye who say school don't be a swapper ye koboso. Regularly, an assembly when it comes to all these matters.
Mr. Speaker.
Because they are closer to us more than the president.
I agree. Mr. Speaker, me know where I've been saying, assemble and to me be pra who surrounding areas and it's not the work of the assembly. Assembly cannot come and do that. And the work of it is your responsibility. Gata ewo in the front of a shop, front of a fee. Your responsibility to tidy up that gutter. Assembly also has a responsibility to collect those refuse. And the public areas be any road assemblies or mopra. It is their responsibility. But who vicinity around, it is solely your responsibility to tidy up that place. Which that is where I'm coming from. Assembly has this rule. Individuals we have a rule. And to say Jani Yama Assemble now we are wrong one, and that they can't do it. No matter if all of us should know I'm speaking where we are now. This is TV3 Unia. O car park. External car park. I don't think you expect Assemble to come and sweep that place.
No, I'm not saying it's assembly, but clearly, yes.
Now, what get that idea to does be more, and it's the responsibility of the Assembly to convey it. But it is not the responsibility of the Assembly to come and do, and we have many of them. Yesterday, a lot of places are prepare. Ultimately, say a responsibility of those who are around to do that work. That is where I'm coming from. Gutters cry open, and I make us a no. We can say assemblies can do. Some of them are sealed. And because they are closer to various shops, homes, no. But if you have a policy, say Tangas, the town council, or shop, now surrounding your shop, so dirty, lawlessness, at least, people will start tidying up their areas before Assembly will do its work and also a. But when we leave everything to Assembly, that is where I disagree. In terms of cite example, Mao, La Paz, around Bamboo, even as at this morning, they are still a pig. And they too. Just imagine that drainer in Suta was echo. So in Suta ever call him. Because the drain is already full. And to show the better surface, no go up because access of water no, has been already sealed. So I think say either we find a way to make it compulsory, or we should introduce the town council people. They should be active so that even you shop, they shouldn't give a distance around your shop. Yeah, but now they can take you on.
Okay.
When they do that, people will start tidying up their areas. By so doing, you know what we are doing? We are cleaning the city one. By so doing, we are avoiding some sickness such as malaria and cholera. By so doing, we are also avoiding. And then also, we are letting people do their duty. If this continue to some years, 5, 6, 7 years, without enforcement, people will adopt it and be used to it. Okay. But as it is now, and remember, Africa, you're a headmaster. We want somebody who will be checking you, else, how shall be and you know what to be good. But if Obi a check, you will not do it
as a boarding house. Oh
yes, let me give you straight. Today's week, I was going to today's week, I was going to a program at Adana. Middle of the road, na yatra baby Ghana actors building. Could you believe it's a private car? Your back, did you and the took I speed up echo some kind of thing.
No, I for that I agree with you. Me call Benghazi just about a week ago. Ben, na me war airport. Oh, say airport, the parking lot, right? To the arrival. Na ma park it. Until I was say me befa ticket no. Na me go to scanner and sana metimi apie. Baby, I me park no. Just beside me is a V8, Toyota Land Cruiser V8. I park. On the right side. Enti me ba car de ho a me be fa ticket no. O show baby a wujina ya wujunso. It became a serious banter because I had to call the security on him, the airport security, for them to ask him say, there are washrooms all over. Na obe decided say, aha ana obe jina. So the end point is that again, incident happened here. You know what happened? The security couldn't arrest him for what he has done, right?
Yeah.
Omonene just argued and then otu ne car no koe. Nipo obe picking wa picking a otu car no koe. So I ask myself that what laws and guided some of these things even at our airport? Imagine say a foreigner bina a beto saadi and so what is the impression?
Exactly.
Is the person encouraged said next time on usubet me a saadi and openly, right? Within that particular space and so all these things are I mean, it brings us back to the fact that enforcement of our laws. In fact, for you to even do that in public spaces, so beto adiato form.
Right.
Act 29 criminalizes any man. So it's a criminal offense. Why are we not enforcing the laws and we are where we are as a country?
Mr. Speaker, no pay my minchia na minchia washefo baby a wafidi kesi no kokudro. No pay minchia alaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Minchia MPP for you now moko delegates elections anope. Anope the webisasem. In fact, Mensanso Enchia Yira John Buedu or vie for the position of the national chairman. See a grassroots phone in a sombra no member DNM. The Speaker?
Yes.
Asama okay Edika, first of all. But maybe some bisa Yashef was and I'm present bisa what call Bema Campada.
Yes, maybe in Bema Camp.
Bema Camp abrofune wo hono ma na bibifo ne wo.
O Ghana for ne.
Na Bema Camp hono mo no. Wo hwe the way a omotie ene omo surrounding the way ho ye neat ni ade nyini. Uji di pa se Ghana for net wo.
Oh, why not? Soldier for net wo, Ghanaians net wo.
Nti that clearly should tell you say ye Ghana for no ankasa ni di ho abro ibino. Because Bema Camp ye baby a if ni honom nsuo kura to me ntompo na waka say nsuo befa Bema Camp for. Because the way a omahye omadan aye drainage system ni there's a lot of discipline e wo Bema.
I want to mean no ho na onko jina baby ase wo ju.
Actually. So this clearly tells actually it's say ye ankasa na ye boy ye ho abro. But you see Ghana problem ankasa has to do with leadership. I think sir in time past leaders ni nyina ba besne ko ni nyina one way or the other. Most of them metumi akasa omo ye weak. A pure leadership you. Because if you have somebody like Paul Kagame or Rwanda, the same in Roma ye famous ABC or Rwanda. Now within 10 years, Papa no had the long-term plan buy emanate to me solve this problem. And then so time for Rwanda for. Why? Because Omo realizes that they have to plant more trees. Baby answer say ni president Omo mo bia permit man consider. Why can't we do same? And clearly you can really tell say what we are facing as a people has to do one with indiscipline, two weak leadership. And that is why I come here. Weak leadership because Mr. Speaker, or you're very weak.
President Mahama,
you're very weak leader. Look, there are two types of leaders. Leader bakwa or no or you're proactive. Proactive no wopoto kasem no and now the buy kro makasem just say openia ont na wono ma BBC ansana wa ye ne eso ye any wo pani bi nso a ono ne de otwen a assembly see ye na no the solution e de aba na two types of these leaders emu hinde na obefa me de mefa ne o ye proactive say on chairman assembly membership no dey nyoma betutu ye why I'm saying say President Mahama a weak leader na say Ghana for ye peneso kra modi anim in the next 1, 2, 3 years because I'm telling you say insuo tobio this man will go and stand in the gutters and do say obe declare 2 days of economic days and kakofo to me bia ye adwuma e bia pesca dia ye you know ama yakwa akotiga atemu bio. First of all, maybe say nyina obi a wafun bia enko Google. Now onko graphic online or say I am at a loss. President Mahama says Accra floods disaster. This is June 4th, 2015. So it's about the same time. The first time the same thing is here.
150 people near Lucy.
Oh, not just this time crap on your
yes.
This time in
2015, Nipa 150
in this time in Kofan almost 40.
34.
Okay,
so far.
Okay, approximately around that figure. Into this time in Krapo de Nyamene Diache. Into war or Mampenia Sabisabio, what Baba your Mampeni dada. You know, say ye Diane so better. what by you 2 years near.
And you know 2 years.
Almost. In any case. Oh, Mr. Speaker, this president here can only person so better than so to this is the magnitude of Beko. No, what's now one man for 40 years. Now, you have a Yakran is for 40 years, no, I could say white. Could Gina Independence Square or Danya Miase. And for Ukraine, this president has never had a thought to go to the families. Your vice president has said, or your bad time. One so I call Cerebus have one brother. Madam for Bakoya Juma or MPA, Mr. Speaker. Owie University, or Tenefia more than 5 years and son on your Juma or MPA. On your MPA, who said no more picking Kakanga or Akoto, Hyundai Elantra Ebi. And what turning them fridge, TV needs and remain in Abbey. Mr. Speaker, in so toy, million up back to zero, be biase. And your woman penny or Tina Kunyaswa, Sebi you. Jamaica in Soto, Nase, and Roma say what Jamaica. Or man penny to meet 2 speedboats, bear 3, and the coach Jamaica 4.
I don't see that way.
Oh, it's already on the line. It's published. Led by Okudeta Blackwa. Almost say a millionaire panel, any idea tent, mattress, any idea at the command Jamaica 4. So, Munjino Mufaji trouble. Me no can say Nadmo ni speedboat mpo wono. Nso to who say speedboat in the
Okay, the Notre Dame incident under President Akufo-Addo.
Right.
At the time Notre Dame incident in the around the same time around the same time Akosombo Dam spillage.
Right.
People in the Volta region na ensure cheer for Womoso.
Right.
Do you remember what happened at that time?
Okay, so it said Bibi Sakrampo and Isia. And then President Akufo-Addo so ni Ben. But I'm saying that this president deliberately. Look, many I am a Yakran and say President Mahama, only ni Ibrahim Mahama. Sebio anka President Akufo-Addo na tiso na nkasa anu me nyina si ya. Anka be say Ibrahim Mahama. Ako families one mo so akwa donate ni ade e di amomo. Abra President Akufo-Addo tina konya so o ka kire Ibrahim Mahama say ono ankasa pese okoti e gata ni mu free. Ene unu abaye o de Ghana japade nyina de ahye wonsa. Enso gata ne de ontumi konkoti mu free. Amayema yatena hono ma mansuo aba be faye nyina e man kofo 40 ayeden aba be wu aka won kofo properties omalusu within a space of time no too much it's media udu samia anka I was thinking say President Mahama okoyanko wakwakusua ade ana wasanso ayeden enya akwanya so sanso mbra so mbambe sumu biu ba ekwakwakwa say President Mahama ni okoye kokoye nyina no onsu ahwe Nkofo no mo malusu any properties
President Akufo-Addo time issue any of
President Akufo-Addo time 8 year period ni nyina President Mahama Krampo de Bone akutia sa mambo bon intine nsuo nto na wo de amambo papa aba ni nsuo to na eja to ato na mambo papa na ono obuye ya Ghana fo nyina boje no so no ono ne de nsuo no to na eja Edem. Nkofo, they be a President Akufo-Addo, you never had Nkofo 40 crown and Bibisa Ewu. Look, I am saying, sir, this president is somebody that is very reactive. He's somebody that we have to do away with because at the end of the day, on Ghana for him, he knew was setting up a task force. So, Monshanan Komunye Sanyomenina, Nkofo who here and Sana Pape declared 2 days of sanitation day. Until Yamea Dumna next week in so Tobio to that magnitude. Now, Noma say, President Mahama is going to do same. Next year, Bibi Sasia is going to do same. Their measures plan or their two aquemwa. A bit to me, a boy, citizens are your war, my must say, Yamuba toys and so as also Tobio. Medimanusino. Nasia, Oko Australia. Roberts near dear a ton of Wagatis Munimuni Adianano. One more for measures be at the share point to point ABR Sabio or one more moon to and from Google in so many ideas. But since water or more neta or modia to gata no a separate sound your money edifi nsuo na ekɔ no ho ade na yɛntumi nya the same thing ɛwɔ hanom yɛtwɛ ma nkɔfo wu ansana yaba bɛyɛ den yaba bɛhwɛ ni solve problem ne dia na just say we have a weak leader.
Okay, but that's a bit that's just about 11 minutes gone past 9. Can W'asem Yie suni ewo Onia TV so me the speaker now. Solomon Owusu atina se mami emma na china me mana kwaba. So good morning.
Ya konto
Na empomu boko there.
Ya mi aye ni dia wie akade John beka ho na ya wie ni nyina ta ono ne dia hye ne sa
mami ntiewe endra ne na wa participate here na national cleanup exercise
o me president bia me prime fie no
so ba say we are directive o mampanyama
oh yes ada me ka say ade bia ye pra on a mijre ye o say wudi ho ni ye say cleanliness is what that's what godliness
that is one term as we see answer na wapla
of course also wudi ho ni me my attitude they say I was seeing a comprehensive solution. Anytime I mean, say, or man penny be an ass or henny be an minister be an ankasa TSC gatem no. The fee say a total breakdown of the system. It's as say, or man penny ye hiano say, or bedrin in your market ye. A woman, no. Rendra time, Uja one on titi gatem. Oko hen the tables were fast in season. Say or the year say you manoa a bebo mine pa and no so tira wa paw na so afo say mommoa no na oni dwuma ontumi nko ba bia nti na de bia wo paw gofo na mo pa mo no nya dwuma na mano dabe na mutikro mu a me no ma bedi anura me free wa me kote gata free wa obi a me de dwuma hye wo se bia me yiwadi very simple because
but o ma mpen onyedi
Oman Penny. One wafana won't win any. Obia
Obia di so far.
And America Joshua I don't hear some no. No man Penny ma talk Ghana and Yinako campaign. Bram me bread ready to me Hashem sa. Ministers never one and funny that's why I got to a man. And your man Penny and funny ballot paper so. Or brave ya or dear, but what pony 2 minutes be one day. Amount. Ensure for the power in yebo. Enyo man penny. Na wo adum bia dum na ma wa ba be yo be me. Mo minister of we. Mo be tuku e wo wiase. Ana o de mami meye we na abada wa ntumi anya na me am man penny. Me see free jubilee as aba beti gatemu a. Wa me dey say adwuma e ma wo no. Ade also wo. Somebody must convince me. Sasa ni pa no a e na sede say o ma potem wo tena. Wo tena ho ma man penny ko te gatemu no. E de nti na also wo. And sustainable. Shall we 2021, 2022? Yet, Yanka being shame, and a Benghazi in the president, and a Ghana for president. Or I could for the catch as a clean operation, clear your frontage. Okay. Yet, Hano,
Rahan recorded dear name, right?
On the dear, or yeah,
regional minister.
And was he say, and yes, Kashia. Yakoshi gay. Sort yes, here. And Tiama assemblies in your day, any Duma. And can you beautiful concept too? Potembia, your unit committee. Sa unit committee, no, how many assemblyman the cabo when they take a decision? You are only one Potembia, also they call the assembly. Now, assembly, they bobo, no matter take a decision, yeah, you do Juma. But you're breaking it down. Be a judgment. Me Potema, me tino can this area. Who may be a convention point, I'll say, containers, Sian Moa, Bola, Yedikwakum. The other one is tricycle for a babaji. I will be your move. Ye chesica. Now, so, South tricycle for almost a bola now, Minumino, yet maybe over the co. I dear bet you from Alam Quaswa, and Mura Negus, almost spread or quinus, no Masaba. And we are not doing what is right. What prevents us as a country say, Yadiko, 40 feet containers, about 6 Bessie, Potembia, not Yenya and Quada, that's one. What do ball a neighbor, watch him, yeah, solid liquid, a liquid, no, yet your boom. No, be your friends say, transfer point, it tracks in a bar, not the first floor net.
Okay.
Yeah, sir, and obey me by me far, Alajo, a Aveno, go ahead, ball a pie, see, a departure home. Well, cholera about say, yeah, for me. Yeah, Aveno, oh, really,
circle, yes.
Baby, I'm told Yano, it couldn't be a baby. I told you, they say Bola is soon on. And them once a Monday with a cholera outbreak. And them one
Monday, yeah, Joa de ya.
And I will cholera, man, I say, Yamin send him. we are still there. Wow, the obey no. You find a garbage in, garbage out. It was a multitude. Friday is here, me share, me soon though. Crocodile yes, I don't share. It says the Indian say, yes, super, yeah, boom, chrome. And you day are saying the busy. Short yes, and I tell you, that would do wabu. Yet, the chrome one on the 3rd of June 2015 in Shokum Nipa 150. Ekum 150 we no ana aban na oteso no etro krata koma World Bank say ye besere be biedri hias ka say ye de beye de odo drains ni yi na ya pamo mo te afane afa na ye kwa chimoto drains an ko ye ya ye ni yi ana World Bank say ya che mo sempa ya approve sika mam sika de na de ko ye di sika no from $22 million ye say ye training $22 million so na training bank wa ye training person obere baller na so obefi baller some fun say ni atete $7.9 million yes say they are consultancy apart from training you also nya 7.9 a consultancy the actual sika ye dey cost say ye mfa nye drains no 11 million. Why do we do this to ourselves? Na ye wia sankofo no sikari shomboto wo na wa be ka che me ne kwame ye mienu se ya mobra that ye ma e ba be te sansem we na me papa wo tande ba bia me za sata mewu a me dwene me ho ya bo me tiri so me papa no edwifo en so papa wa nkwanko wia ban sika ye wia sa mi o man finance me zo wia ne ngotra brochi o heaven can operate however
until ka ko say
ye make ka ko sie nyina ne self one o man peni mo fa ne ho njim enkoti gatem yes a ne to abama no we yi apafo na wapa mo njim nya dwuma pa mo ye onkofo bebire a kwa mi to ye decide mo how be try simple o kwa waka oti what do trim why what is right. Number 2, corruption and emwa eba. Is
it the MMDCs ni na anti omo adwuma anti assembly concept na say na
omo ti ase ba the politicization the politics of the chair. Many DCs be breeding komo. Eduma ba ko a o de chenkofo asisi a no.
Omunye.
O medwene ho mienu no. O take decision bia na party na e wo constituency say now.
MYA
ye be lose vote. Who told them say you vote engineer to? And this is here no ye wo electoral democracy and developmental democracy. Say adia meye dia dan kofo.
But say the selection of the DC yes. Politically tainted. Enti party na ba aban mu
yes
yaba constituency
yes.
Constituency secretary say ope DC constituency communication officer sope constituency chairman sope yes. Constituency organizer sope enti ye no say o 12 constituency executives are emu 9
yes
omu nyina so mo pe DC position na eden na regional party no
yes
at a committee
yes
you munko je omu service
yes
muji service ni wi munko ye omu interview enye interview papa bia omu wi a na afi ya sort it out
ye ba ko ye na no
ye the bank ye the bank wi a na
omu connection abem yes
na omu nam chief of staff echi
ba ko pache wa e ko tuade e tua bribe ya che e ja kan sa omu tua bribe ni ade no omu go tua sika no a ni yi ba ko omu yes o ma me DC
oba bet na on you came because of the party you didn't come because
so that's where the problem is. It's any panel e be there na the party need the container kwa kosi be ni say see we tua kan wasem. And on top of that, when was the last time who said Ghana for taking interest in assembly elections? It's the most important election in this country. People don't know.
Now, for pre-DC, who will be your professor?
Yes.
Who be your university lecturer?
Yes.
Our Tim Rassi?
Yes.
Who will be your lawyer?
Yes.
Or say, I'm willing to serve the people at the local level.
Yes.
Yes, you are more than competent.
Hold on, Jodia. Farmer, and downtown for no. And we have to go back to the decentralization. This is assembly. Me also the equi. It's better some say DCs, you know. And Kaba or any be a one Potemon why and DC. Because I don't know. I need nobody till. I don't know. Say why ye fata ye be boni triso. That how the man say. Omunye DCs no monko. It's say it is so tainted. Say omuko take look. Oko baby to say sa we jam Potemona. One baby a laugh and one yes and show to ya fa nyina.
Yes.
And ya de bia o. Okwabenane na etumi ame de ball akogu nsuom ye hip ball na be se abronside 30 or no private person or jim go for the ball na be gu nsuo no mo eska na assembly cho the assembly na what to wage assembly na me mama hene no se onsiu no ni dan so because me tis asem no because ku busa ohene na won say opani wo na ye wasase ya wo na ne ma won o se bo me and si wo mo ye si na wo agade ye wo DCMC wo wo nya wo aduma what are you talking about then so ba wo se me mo mpa ye say ye nsu ebe fa bu nyina afa ye nyina ewu a wo mbebe chiri no mbedwene right
no more answer, right? Okay. But I say Solomon Owusu and Watene Kana, Director of Communication for UP, the United Party. Now, the new Patriotic Party, Tuaba Anope, NT, will come to it. Meaning, Adama, you have some rebuttals. Mamintio, yes, just about 1 minute. Now, Yamra, the other issues.
Yes, shortly. Medasi Bibi. Once a topic here, Odebayan, now I don't want to politicize the topic. Because a purely national conversation. It is not about political. Now say, all the political, Basana Ben de Baye, President Mama ye wiki, President Mama ye say, President Oye wiki in this fourth republic, Obianim say, Nana Akufo-Addo. Everybody knows it. Listen, Nkrofo flood AC voter region. Okohwa, Eko Kacha Mose, Oman Twaba, Amma, Anka Omba, Oba. That's the most reckless statement a president will ever say. But your information, what you people MPP don't know, which you have to read is, in September 2018, 34 people died as a result of flood in the northern region. Maybe you don't know. You don't know. 34, equally 34 people died as a result of flood. And let's put that aside. Do you know the number of floods in Kofuwu, even in Greater Accra? We had about, under your watch, we have about 6 floods in Greater Accra region, which characterized with death. But we don't want to. I'm an engineer. I understand the issue on my hands. And to me, medical politics. And I'm privy to work with companies that mitigated some of the floods. And there are evidence that shows, structure have solved floods, such as between Nima and Mamobi, Sadrino, such as Alado, such as Ashama, which I'm privy to work in some of, such as Ashama, Taifa, and Co. Our structures are solving. So I'm privy to those ones. That is why I don't want to do politics with it. But when you come, President Mama is far better than MPP. No, but when those things, hold on. When even the splurge issue happened, the vice president was in this country. Mr. Wankoho. When see her, one coho. AC not our chroma when see how you don't respect people. And
vice president.
One president, you don't even know. President, hold on, let me tell you, you don't even know. President Eko Okankwe enough where it affected Cyril Alibishiri. That's my concern. President went there. Even you don't know it.
Adama, Miss Roma, you don't know it. Miss Roma because
I'm telling you.
Miss Roma because Miss Roma say, what's me politicizing? But Openia, you see, no, Edward Tuborn, or politicizing.
Hold on. I'm telling you, the president, hold on.
Oh,
you see,
that's it.
Yes. Listen to me.
Ben. And then tell another one.
Gentlemen, thank you. My the other issues.
Ben, could you believe that this is president never even told the nation? Under President Akufo-Addo.
Gentlemen, thank you. Never went anywhere. Now this week, the Assurance Committee in Parliament. Adama, thank you. Made us say the Assurance Committee in Parliament. Atinase. Now Assurance Committee no a committee in Parliament. Woman the say aban bo share wo share. Ministers ahodo programs aban say all year ewo the budget mo offer State of the Nation address. Assurances Committee no ye committee a woman say omo bo akire ehwe hu say wo ye minister wo be gina mrahye bedwam ehyebo say aban so obey policy say ye be implement ye allocation say the amawa. The committee is supposed to ensure say wo be bo akire ahwe say the mo de beto mrahye bedwan anim say mo be ye no mo ya na. Now this week committee no atenase ehwe say omoni ministers ahodo no ebedi nkomo about some of such policies and programs are SSA aban etimi achieve within the year 2026. Already we've done half of the year. We are just in about the third quarter of the year. Enche na afeno kone year. One of such programs a year nkukon kitten program no. Na eno ho major concerns no aba. ma yentwa ye homra ne yentie the honorable agric minister Eric Opoku at the time Okopi Assurance Committee no enim question a yebisa no and then a response or the buy about the Nkoko Nkete program aban alanche.
Ready for school?
Yes!
My champs, they use a lot of energy at school. I know because imagine the energy they may have used up to return home this transformed every day.
Your champs need nourishment and energy. Give them the Milo Energy at breakfast, now with vitamin D that supports.
Onua group yene afashe de ubo edwumakuo baako pa ye wo W'asem Yie mu. Onua group yene afashe de ubo edwumakuo baako pa ye wo W'asem Yie mu.
Meant for some also decided to kill and eat all. In fact, they were even sending me videos that, honorable, we are eating everything. But this is not meant for that immediate consumption. We just wanted people to read them, sell, and reinvest so that it becomes.
Honorable Minister, that's the trending story that they are eating the birds. You've seen it. That trending story I've just mentioned.
It's trending?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That they are eating the birds.
Oh, okay. But Mr. Chairman, even though we don't encourage that because we wanted them to capitalize on this, to earn something for their livelihoods. If that is what they have decided to do, at the national level in aggregation, it also helps. If they are able to build a good taste for locally produced poultry, that is a big plus for us.
Right, Mamena was saying, you heard the Honorable Eric Opoku, Ghana's Agric Minister. Mamisha say o Benghazi so na maintain on this. What's the minister kind, right? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, but a committee free baby a flood and some seminal one. Mr. Speaker, my name say when your chance I call through the budget allocation and appropriation now a buyer now. Can you imagine say President Akufo-Addo time.
Gazi Osadi
Yes. A quick rebuttal. President Akufo-Addo time, government of the day spent almost about 18 million Ghana cedis on sanitation. By or the 2024-2023 budget year no. Abaye the only 9 million and they fight sanitation. President Akufo-Addo time, Pato Adama. President Akufo-Addo time, the Ministry of Works and Housing, MSK, the Goro Boise are Sabi and Suota, Yenu Omo Fatso, Omo Edgy, Omo Muska, or Koyakra, Kofa prisoners, and as Cecilia Dapa, and Momuti got the Muka Crabia Boys. And this is for my question. You're talking as if more opposition. I don't know about more question. We saw that look, we saw that money in Sicily. What to me has money 292 million Ghana cedis for sanitary pads. And 292 pads. No more than only 7 million for sanitation. Look,
gentlemen, thank you. Now, my young brother in Nkoko Nkete issues.
It's as a result of weak leadership.
These are the facts on the Nkoko Nkete policy. One of government's flagship, programs, right? According to the Ministry of Agric, any finance ministry ni nyinaa no as part of the policy objective nkukɔ nkitenkite no is supposed to increase local poultry, meat and egg production, reduce Ghana's dependency on imported frozen chicken. And what it means is that nkukɔ ye krade ba no
details na dey
yetimi yewe
me ha ho
me ba enye wunti kura na me
because me time na ekodo me time na ekodo look weak leadership
when you see too much
Muhammad dey open more too much
and it's good
open more too much am so no mo ma no nkukɔ ma ne didi agro oba first one ye ma wa confirm so mo nyina akɔ Burkina and now yeah, Ghana for said this policy is not sustainable. Among you could in United States, Ghana for any day. Almost says 344 million Ghana cedis on this and Kukon Kitinkete. Budget in the car or more located from Kukon Kitinkete.
Yes, in 2026, 244.9 million Ghana cedis. This is 2026.
2025 budget, no crown, almost 100 in the start here.
I was starting a date in 2025. In November.
I
said they were allocations.
Look, but even with a staggering amount of 244, and yes,
it doesn't mean
no, look, me patchon.
It doesn't mean you're releasing it.
President Mahama, President Mahama, oh, you're weak leader. And so Ghana forces so. By now, Uncle Baby and come up. First one, mistakes are and one more. First one, Obaye, okay, your box site, not your money near. This time, example, the gold, not the money near. No first time, Obaye and Coco, you saw a guinea fowl, you saw winning a Johnny, and the Burkina. And then, and Coco getting swap. Oh, yeah, I sent a bear Ghana for me to near Biari Christmas in Pondu, yet. Bronian buy it. Oh, my dream Coco Nina. It's Bronian Coco Benny, the baby. Nkukona omu rezu omu a
but say we Ghana ni na aban the policy ba aban tremu policy yemfa policy mra yen create nyuma yemfa nkrofo nyuma yenye nkukɔ sɛ de be ya ye be gyae de krade ba no na OTTV achi na ahwe anope na we beneficiary of such a program na ya ma nkukɔ no sɛ nyɛ omo na so omo adu ba bi na meku omo awia. Does that really make sense?
No, Minister Babet na hono mo edi ayas resem. We enye BBS yesre wo. Kosika ko taxpayers money has gone. On what Netherlands and Kabana ke so resign. You stayed in Amsterdam, me boy. Kabana wa resign. And you na yet na hono and you dey yas resem. Because we have a weak leader, and the president, the first person I saw sacking the agriculture minister.
Were you in this country?
No, please.
You came from the earth.
President Akufo-Addo will not tolerate such things. Oh, yes, I will show you. Say a mouse for your program. We say, "What Jemkuko no send videos." And the minister, what better na committee so na wo say, "Obianya, you everybody should be okay with that." The minister, the Greek minister, so more permanent than if you have a serious president. Because Sika Akosa and Kukon getting project means Kaketwa.
And yet me accounting for it.
Actually,
Sika no my back, right?
Actually. Sika no back. And you know yet na hanu you know.
Said they money they are more on
a table of men, we are all laughing at it. We have all become light-minded about the situation and causing financial loss to the state. And look, when MPP bar, we have to revisit this matter. We have to revisit this matter.
Okay.
And to make Ghana for say, we and ya dear SSO Bia Edias Resem. Ghana are buying Ghana taxpayers' money. And I'm going to be the Greek minister. Say, for you, you may be able to me a Ghana for, and I'm going to be a German also. What to me catch the committee? Say, I'm going to me send you video or more via Coco. And yeah, you say, no, sir, minister, you're reading into minister now, what's not one. Then there's a way.
Okay. But that's it. My embrace solo so that maintain on this. Solo.
Utina no asemwa wa help because e jada Ghana mu putu enso no dey na your politics here. And the crowd will say obi obeka say nkokon on paper. Sa policy na nye papa bia no. Sini who ya the papa or say boa o man no. In fact, here ko election 2024 obeka here. Yenuanom Benghazi Mudie, Onkoye advert. One of their jingles, and they know more can say, and go getting at the phone. No more, they are setting up. Hey, now one more manifest. And one more, now one more because Moka and Abakrumana. Essence offer a company like KFC. Bosumiano, Omoton go more than 4 million. Other food joints in MIO, Mawako, no money in Amai. You come with fear beer, Muremua, Ubenyo beer, when the chicken will be egg, and Amwa. A KFC, your Monko Conny Frigana. In Fria. Nina Moka, in fact, Nipa or the Bahano. The first year, I said, oh, Pegana for making a supply. Oh, Tina, where you be? When you're Ghana, when you're going to be supply volumes. India need and the franchise in the bar. Now, not the priority is a Ghana need and the best supply. Why, maybe? And to me, I buy so bad idea for a conquering kitchen. Na manager home. It was a no one whom carpenter for a big woman, or more yes, and go boning in house bed day, even yet do money be a etika on paper no, very good. Now, you crow more as usual implementation. How I had that problem more. But me tear minister no. Man who say or cassette and you be here for that details. Okay. Said you probably do na anya one and you know ma I know. Or percentage. And some crowd so you be your day. Well, I didn't come on with a very particular purpose and objective. No why so I honest was or bet you me if a minister no of a seminar on a lighter note. I was I don't know trendy. Ebia obi anyemwa me metuwe. Wonya mwa onwi. Se mwa no I say blue stage SSO. No, I make say one chiremu yi also chiremu yi. Se sa na tie dia ena na different purpose no. But say yes say engofo enyen anyen. Ana ma wo bebre ena eba na me as akuani one yekua oni aduane ni bi. Oh, Kwame, there is a particular video we chanced on. Video no have factor so because there is a sound under it you meet me at here. Yes. Ono de wakuni de ni nyina. And you totally what defeat and it to happen because that make us implementation. Say what the command one more your party members are. It links to as a man here can party chairman for ni nya. And yes no be fee say payback time. My force so my party about power. Ana ngoko ne dey damase me dem anya dey abra aban so to mase but me feel say yen take it as a whole but say o mama secondary schools ni bi yeah so monye yen ko dey kire hwe say dey see me feel say your students are esua agriculture sa emu anya yi edi ne see ho kwan say omumom ne be ye focal point na yedi amom no motimi anya nkukọ na yedi akwako fidi KFC for what about the existing poultry farmers e wo pepa so betimi anya okay me aboa ba akopẹ akukọ ba akọ am koto tu me fi say nkukọ gra wonya omre me nya we wo me timani a adania be etem me so ngo akukọ no ono ahoso mo kwa de mo no ye ma mo papa yi me de onam ho a me wa so hu wawo me na hwe eje ya dia wo se ye boa minister no no nya ne hwe me na me ko no be hoso sa na me minim kwa gra be bre wa brabo kwa be tse jam eje dia me kan se minister na sem na waka no e call for say obehe policy review say ehemfa na tetchma ni aye ni but paul say ye betra ma ayi Benghazi mo e di o ma no ba be si hu say policy ni nyada ye di speed aye de akwa kotwem no ye nyada esan say ya kra gugofuna be kromu ha ma ene ya de dudu a wo ko hospital a ye nya nyina no gugofunu ka ho wo ko Holland na mo omu na ye fa ye ti Ghana na ye finance the Dutch economy ya ko fa gugofunu free on Brazil ade I know so sisa but I say my main kind messages in be I've been boom right so Baumia always discover a very there are some of the words I'm used to main kind as it so it's a Kufuado who killed the people in Accra Stadium, right? That is the question our person will be sir, but I am Mundi Mokasanini. Now Elder Daniel Ediaba or say we are very much the cause of the problems of this country facing us now. Everyone is doing what he or she thinks is the best for them and the more reason why we are faced with the challenges. Peter Yeboah said Akwa Wepa die. What is he saying? People died under Kufuado as well. He must check his fact. Tough London, Ediaba, or say, good morning, Mr. Speaker. Please tell the NPP rep to shut up. When COVID-19 came,
They taxed us to do a lot of things, and people died out of that. Where was he? Selassie Sashraku Ediaba, or see, if I were in the studio, I would take the law into my own hands and slap the NPP guy. You can't do that.
No, don't do that. Don't even think of that.
You need to be tolerant in discussions. Samuel Atamen says NPP easily forget things. What happened to the money given to the Stilt, the Odo River, and the other gutters during their era? And they are now coming back to blame the government. This is what we do with politics, and it comes back to affect us. Caleb Echiadi about say congratulations. Peter Yeboah said because of politics, Ghana can never move forward. Now Ebenezer Mokto Ediabo say my own NDC people are the problem, and the reason why we are not succeeding with this country. If you claim Cecilia Abinadapa and the cronies stole money from the Republic, why haven't we prosecuted them as we speak? And the all questioner will be in the
pipeline.
Thank you. Adam says in the pipeline. Ebenezer J. Ediaba or say, good morning, Mr. Speaker. Kweku Menu told Ekufuado that he was not in his right frame of mind. Was that equally true? And should we take it as politics, just as the NPP man is doing? Thank you. And those are a couple of messages. Mode Abba. Ma yentie sound wemra. Yeba mema Adam Abem na afe yatuan komodie niso.
Yo ebusafo senya mi di kan no pano edumade ne no na ekoso no emwa no omu na mekunkun omu no obi adom mi fridge obi cold store nti mint me twen enkoso anto eduane no ti makunkun omu so hwa mama frɛ ebusafo omu boa mi ebi mo so wo ho omu twen no mo Omaji omusikan omu na mu wo no enti aboade is excellency John Dramani Mahama wa boa ye mum na mum bebia mboa no kopie ye no amboa ye mu bi ya e forso ye e de ahode ne sika nyina hye mu se anka enye yi na yetumi to aduma ne so ba ne aye yi Bye bye.
So it's quite interesting, but Solo, I just chanced on this, and in one breath, yes, I agree.
Mr. Speaker,
almost Antonio and Mamuano. It could be a factor. Right?
It could be a factor. So, other makers is a video really authentic.
Yeah.
And these are implementation challenges. I was say as a minister, a feedback amount. Short as say, but policy need the initiative to train.
Okay.
In 30 seconds, yes. I want to speak about the flood again.
Let's push forward.
We have the project, Gary project, in 30 seconds. The money that came was about 350 million. Only 11 million out of the 300. And the UC 4. The real purpose of the job. We have over 1 million. We have over 1 million poor. I almost use it for other things, which is not account for. And inti odo ewo no omun distilling. Emma ye over $1 million. Ewo the then minister need them. Over $1 million yes, me pay.
This matter has not been even raised by you.
Hold on. And subsequently it will come.
How?
Don't worry.
How?
We have 4 years to
sanitation one first can be
we win him. You $1 million. Ewo need them. You thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds and cedis. I want them. I want me accounted for. If this is not stealing money, I don't know if I'm called bank. I throw that. If this is not stealing
money, there is a court of competent jurisdiction. I
want to let our because this is what you use our money. Money now.
So you are the one in government. So respond to some of the issues.
Based on the video, there is a portion lady in the car say, "Omobeton." Because then it's good because the purpose is non-ton, no raise revenue, no some cut off no be. And the video we just watched, we had the Lakers, we are training a cotton omo, which is the purpose. But you
heard the guy so Okasi Omberry, right?
Oh, so the idea.
But it's later the background. So let me come in here. As the minister said, it's a starter.
Yeah.
Ebia unye omo. I just said we come aton so be ton omo life o. No one raise revenue, no one san koto, no one san beto aso. You said that's the purpose, so that usubenya bibi the air. One way the other, nebema uska, and a very reduce importation of frozen chicken. Your friend of foods. Because the rate of frozen chicken, when you look at up to 2015, 16, 17, now 2020, Charlie, it's scary.
Yeah.
A dozen do. And once a yesikano, which contribute to the currency increasing more. No? And moreover, so we are eating meat at the fridge for 2 years, 1 year and more. I taste no cry. And then see what the minister said at Parliament. Yes, it's true because but I'm not sure that is what everybody did. Some people will go on that tangent. Some people will also take it as business. Because in every business, we make allowance for waste. Even when you are doing calculation, we add some waste percentage between 2 to 5%, depending the quantum of the waste. In the way it's fine. We will learn from it.
You make allowances for waste. And
yes,
which is waste.
You make allowances for waste. Everything that you do. When you are going to buy something, you make allowance for risk. Everything. Even banks, when you are going for loan, based on what you want to use the money for, no, they give the risk allowance from 0 to 4% or 6%. What I say, so fine, AC, but AC, it is not about wicked government.
The risk allowance, with the banks is not because the risk Mr. Speaker, but the risk is when they are looking at your capacity to repay back the loan. And not
only that, and then the delay, they also factor in the delay. So as engineers, when we push for a contractor to go in for loan, the risk allowance is higher than buy and sell. Because and I believe strongly, say, during this implementation, you have it in mind, say, one or two people to be DB. We will have it in mind, and then more people too will do as we want them to do. That one day, I believe, say, ABC.
That's why you need the data. No?
That's why we need the data to look at it. Okay. But I believe subsequent to come. But when you say, hey, President, you're wicked, or the scat to say, even the policy, the idea is perfect. Even the policy and the idea is good. We built on idea and policy, and then when it kick off, mistakes and our challenges, now you correct it, correct it. But you don't say because challenge bakwaba and error ba who drive, you drive errors, you correct yourself as you go. Whatever you do, there's an error that you do.
Very well.
So I think the policy is applaudable.
Solo. Okay, my entire home right, Solo. We'll just take your views on NPP constituency elections, and pay across across some of the constituencies, Omugusua, Tuabano. I know, sir, Secretary East. If you just Secretary East, plus Ablekuma, any other enclaves in there, as we speak, there is court issues and our processes are also anti-party. Nakase, a honor must be put on hold until said court. We'll come to at about 7 of them, and Yentime and Tuabao and ma yentwa ye ho na yenye aboafo nkrato emra ye ba ye betos
Onua group yene afahye de ubo adwumakuo baako pa ye wo menyi mu Onua group yene afahye de ubo adwumakuo baako pa ye wo menyi mu
Content creators and football lovers, are you ready? Creator Cycles is back with Play and Connect 3.0, the Creator Cup Jersey Edition. Get ready for an unforgettable afternoon where football passion meets content creation. Rock your favorite football jersey, challenge your friends in a PlayStation battle, enjoy arcade games, creator collaborations, amazing content creation, and the live streaming of the FIFA World Cup final on a giant screen. It's more than football. It's networking, fun, and unforgettable vibes. Hey, 19 July 2026. Time is 3 p.m. Location is Nexus 9 Lounge and Spaces, East Legon. Play and connect. Play, connect, and create. Don't hear about it. Be there. Content creators and football lovers, are you ready? Creator Cycles is back with Play and Connect 3.0, the Creator Cup Jersey Edition. Get ready for an unforgettable afternoon where football
Mami, now I say once again, W'asem Yie Sunionia TV. So look, Mami Mrao, so now I hope said this you, but time now can you just about 3 minutes now, Mamo. Yes, there is a teacher or petition Supreme Court. Say na I mean term of office, no, I mean Yanshe. Can crunching so aqua Supreme Court for interpretation on the same matters. But Mamintio, together with the NPP's elections, na Mintio, just 3 minutes. Your time
elections, send when it piano. Yeah, and the national security police in the alert because one here by 12 on the 1. Send a no more, so turn me everybody. Sikeche ebebem and I know Nanko for able to okay, Brian. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Kendi, but now a bride in the 700 across the country, calculated 170 million. Make us say that Bawumia Genam Kwan, so 500 Ghana, or calculated 94 million. Na Kendi and so Nam Kwan. But now go phone yet they are Omugusu.
But election way is one of the silent ones.
I think of the interest of party. I didn't know go. That party na akono here wo go enyes anya silent agabedi akono ni party no bitie akwa bia oso ope constituency chairman na the campaign manager sem kwa na ekume o say we dey mamo hamu we yi chairman be sikaro wa ka say MP no prime minister to we dey at least about me 200 yi ekuro we be edu no enkai confusion while Kafija such is what your friend say
Agona
Edno Yana Meno Walker say and yet Daya Ombese Omobo Kwame Viva Katachi Ombebon Gumbina Katachi so minimum there or strike it. That Katachi strike up Betanachi. Me to me Yanema.
I was Santiago.
May they make enough my bed 24 say or strike it up in Nako UP. Said this at the airway, no, I don't know. I'm going to come go for film. We are and go for a competent. You, man, UP.
But the hot the end to our
beating. Would be a time I'm more people, Vicky Bright to calculate South. The same strategy, make a check at the chain. One team, no team here. Men allow me a campaign manager for Vicky Bright to calculate South. Or near Amedata, even say, yeah, court may decide. Or Messada drag, a very party better decision. Look, Emreco. Yenimre yemfa album na e wo no ye dey enkoto be strategy
kase mo at the time one amudi say album na constituency executives police station election album mo na mo ye
ana make say nipa na mo dey gum no katache ye mistake ko me gu ani ma say I'm telling you court wants one castle no there has never been any court here what resolve internal politics e be bar party ni be free about is our party. Ejo amo de ne bukeke o me lidi na enkansa bodu ni ngofu yashim
nkansa bodu
wodi ashim ona nyo ngume na mbio
maybe is nkansa bodu
incumbent ade njira ngokot ozo de oyi bi free ye de bi ai
mo yi bi free album ne di nkrofo foforo
mi wa omo oyi o ma free mu no
mi wa yes
omo ono na de o mu shemu
and o say yi o mo free
because wo so mo ni ate sesa na o mo ye no
close to 300 people
wo mo ni ate a to obeyi wa free mu no de foforo na ba begum te foforo no so ba o yisu o mu wie no mu wi ni a foforo no so liberty woni tina ye you afrim. That is what they do to themselves. But I can say sa seat will belong to the United Party because them Nigeria so esan say ombe yama maybe sasako ombe bokatachi gumbe because katachi da ngasa no kwa me one video ya mbofa no achembe oga achembe achembe dikro na achembe kwa me sa video no kwa ye bongo a emba wunwi ni ho enti oso ba United Party ticket so na kokko tumi no maybe I don't know 1 2 4 ala beka say ukra wanka maka say plans are me matete wo baby bebre so be chiro nya so megu ani mase amen chiro me ngu ani mase me fe say obeba de no ho abedom the United Party ya process
me da say Bengazi ma me mra so na mentio o party e election so say yeah ka say
anti presidential in the me
no time na kanisha
all right I mean I am who say nyame wan say me nua solo ka sanse mi nyina because one solo no oye obi a na oka ye ho na ode
at the point say na your constituency secretary
na ode bitterness every party because utie solo nsema oka ni nyina na ode yawo no
bendowum
nti ese solo say no party mpenufo epe kwan bi so na engage o munyina Alan Kofo ni nyina including Chief Alan na yehwe the way a ye behwe mo maba o ka so mo
you mo free party
no I mean there's always a second chance okay but at the end of the day no and some are solo kanyina na party enya akono nkofo ma twe akoto forms Bebre
na bi MPs na
bebre o ma nkofo for forms amokwa akọ contest be bia nsu oto nyina na nkofo gine ba o moto aba anope enti sa oka sa party no wonya akọ na onim ne oka because you pinanka sa sisi aye ka sei me hu ekwan a mo be fa so aba beji tumi aba be digane
na kwa me na be fa so gi tumi
cause at the end of the day no mo disappointed Ghana for first time am ko na ko bia fisa nka
mo contest election contest as an independent candidate
yes
to you pin contest election
sisi ano mo ye sure pa se mo betumi abi teacher da na obi because the other time kramo ntumi abi
yeah baby in Gaza boy do sit no yeah be Jeffrey
on no on your friend is okatachie no mo hono ma o kenyina no okatachie you obi a
yes
ono na dwunu mo do ni nua no solo de but solo de ni yemu anka wa fi hono ma ba be ka no hono na be ka no want to me win this
I don't want to win
MPP ni party pa obetumi akọ na minim se nya me be ya do mo de nua ma betu ye ama na akọ contest na wa win solo de na dwuni nyina mu no ni yemu anka de bia jam top party ni
ade na okasa
because the way de bia alternative so a oso paye no eya na mboa
na mo anko fo ma mede makoso
won
yeah go go
no ne party ni na dwuni nyina ne se MPP ngu anka United Party o banya me otia ma ne ene abo amotui ye be sre so mama basa ye bia anya because solo ka se anya sutro bi be koso ba bi MPP fo a mo hwe ya no pe a mo nkoto maba ba bia basa ye ba bia no munyim hu fim na mo mbo mode an konkoto maba ni a mo pe no mo nkoto ma no na ye kan wi a ni a wa wi no onte ase na onfa no ntoma anye de embo ni a wa wi no na ye ntumi mboa na ye mboa ma abanya a ote akonya so a sebi o odi ye japade amani nua Ibrahim Muhammad ene omukọ eyi yesi saa kwan ofa so edi ji saa omo ye japade di ma omampani nua no yansa so fa nkomo omo back ene omampani otira kunya so sori ano de Ghana japade nyina di amani nua ekọ London omo wuli se kwan omampani nua no efa so ji gold concession black water no efi sankofo ni nsom no yes so enje enfama sankofo ni bio enti sankofo nyina monka na mongene sa motoaba e de akwa akoma no alternative a obetumi aba be reverse set decisions so obi tumi tena hɔ no ne nua bɛ president ntino otumi kyinkyim nkɔfoɔ nsa gye ɔmo njapadeɛ monkɔto aba no na monto ne peacefully na nyame yɛ adom a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ba 2028 a nneɛma NDC foɔ yɛ a ɛnyɛ nyinaa no yɛaba abɛkɔrɛte no
Adam Amaminti on this
yes President Mama ankyinkyin obi ansa anje obi japade amfa ma ne nua obi enim sɛ Nana Akufo-Addo ɔde no wafase ɛyɛ finance minister ɛma wasa yɛ sika wɔdwane akɔ America ama ɔso ɔmba biom ɛma yɛ accountability
Nana Akufo-Addo ɔde Ghana japade ma na busua ni bi
ɛna wɔdwane
Nana Akufo-Addo de ne japade ma official ni
sika nyina edwane ɔmbra
apani agiko de dia mo bi ma afrofo ne tie kwa ofa so de gye ne yɛ tena hɔ ka osma yɛn
ka election am ko no a lot of case ɔmo inject a lot of constituencies
yes,
a lot
7 of them
more than half
10
significant better
the danger is that for your constituency I see forms no nyina no those time need them and oje and ono ankasa fele and who no nya fan ya the same thing no mo ye you people are not practicing democracy mo practicing democracy more practice. That one is not democracy. And I only pray say Mantakwa. Because prior to election, no. So last 2 weeks, no. Nyama ne kukoso no. You catch your name, yeah. Yeah, what them you chasing for the way I'm also. I'm Penia Jail.
Mr. Speaker. Okay. But now I say thank you. The time now Solomon Owusu Ase, ono your director of communication at the United Party. Benjamin Dewu up here, the New Patriotic Party communication team as well. Malik Adama, ACK NDC for Malik. Bamcho Mumamenka Wema Malik. Malik Pese Obeye first vice chairman at the National Democratic Congress. And he will be in the contest. We did a Kwame here, could be an pay. Mamina was on behalf of the production team, and I'm part of the directors for unity, camera crew, and the support here. I don't know any Joanna, you may know the share and war. Let's see how you're some paso and war a year on the 95.1. Next week, you may sound so anyway here and W'asem Yie. So thank you so much for your time this morning. I'm highly grateful. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, thank you.